Hey guys, I'm Lon here from Analysis. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. On today's episode, I'm going to talk about how to repot my huge Philodendron Maximums. As you guys can see on my previous video on how to fertilize outdoor gardens, I believe if you notice this plant, it's quite big size already. So after a year, I think it's already grown to a certain size that I can't be able to manage anymore. So I have to propagate and cut it into pieces and to move this humongous plant to my warehouse. So the trick to grow big philodendron is actually simple. Everyone thought fertilizing and all the stuffs out there. From my experience, in my opinions, the only trick to grow huge philodendron is sunlight. So with sufficient sunlight, they can process the photosynthesis, which produce the food for them, so they can actually grow huge foliage. So in order for them to produce food, sunlight is primary source of energy for them. So after they process photosynthesis, then they will only absorb the nutrients from the soil. The trick is to get the correct sunlight to grow big foliage. And the second one, big pot. So the pot here is really important for the root to maneuver, which means that when you have bigger pots, there's more space for the root to maneuver to grow big foliage. So when the root has enough space to grow and encircles there, which means the plant is acclimatizing to that condition and establishing itself, so they feel comfortable to push out bigger leaf. Once you have big pots, the third thing is the potting media. So to have a correct potting media is really important. So I'm using chunky soil media, which from the plant doctor magical Aroid makes. So once you got the potting media right for these conditions, fertilizing will be the tricks too. So the trick number 3 will be having a good control release fertilizer is sufficient enough. So once I told you all the tricks, it's really easy for you to grow big foliage philodendron. Right now, it's time to say bye-bye. So before we cut it, let me show you how do I propagate this one. So usually, when you have a huge philodendrons, they will store most of the energy in their stem. This is a stem. You can see how thick is the maximum stem has grown into. So once you have a thick stem, which means it's already conserved enough energy inside the stem, so that we usually will chop the top part of the plant so that you can replant, transplant it into a new potting media. The rest of the plants, it will generate new growth. So where do they generate the new growth? Let me show you. Yep, here. So this is the node. So each node will produce new shoots. So if I cut it here, this plant will be another one. So the new growth will generate from here. Sometimes they will generate another part of the growth from the bottom parts here. So this is another node. If you keep on digging on the stems, you'll find there's numerous of nodes surrounding the stem, so that once you propagate, you can get 2 or 3, sometimes out of 5 plants from one single plant that you grow. And I think this plant is mature enough, so that's, I think it has bloomed more than 3 to 4 times within a year already. This is the inflorescence of the Philodendron Maximum. And this is all the extraterrestrial nectaries because it tastes sweet. And that's why it attracts a lot of ants coming here to form a nest to harvest the nectars. You can see there's a lot of ants here, so yeah. So let's do it. After they cut it, the plant will usually experience some shock. I will usually cut away some old leaves and to leave some new leaf, probably about 2 or 3 new leaves, depends on the amount of the arrow roots. So what I see here is I will cut away this old leaf and I will just left a little bit of leaf over there, so the plant still have some leaf to process photosynthesis. Yeah. Bye-bye. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And of course, I will also cut away the inflorescence so that the plants can actually preserve some energy to focus on growing the roots. You want some fruit? Yeah, this is the spadix of Philodendron Maximum. So after you cut the plants away, usually I would get a big pot to plant big plants. So once you have a big pot, you will need a big potting media to fill up the big pot. So when you have a big pot to plant big plants, the most important thing to take away of the potting media is you need to have a big chunky amendment. So usually I will use double XL Pumice Stone from the plant doctors. So the chunkiness to aerate the soil and also to create a huge particle so that has more space inside the potting media. So just to remember, the bigger the pots, the bigger amendments that you need. So I'm using the double XL Pumice Stone from the plant doctors to mix with the chunky and porous Aroid mix. So let's go. So usually I will add a layer of a pumice stone at the bottom to create a false drainage layer. So after you got a false layer drainage layer done, you can start to put the plant inside there. I think this is gonna be the directions that I want to grow the plants. And try to move in all the arrows into the pot. Alright, there's another thing you have to take notes. Usually when people cut the plants, they will actually use some fungicide powder to put a layer on the cutting wood to prevent rotting. But from my experience, I did not do that because I believe fungus only occurs when the potting media has a really bad aeration. So once the potting media is really aerated and porous, I sometimes should just put some powerful microbes, also from the plant doctors, to create beneficial bacteria and microbes inside the potting media so that it will not encourage root rot and also some stem rotting. So if you have any fungicide that you want to apply on the cutting wood, feel free to do so. In my case, I never did that, so I never have any bad experience. So yeah, I'm just gonna put all the arrowroots inside the pot so that I can put another layer of soil. The reason why we need to do the reports for the big Philodendron Maximum is that because we grow the plant in an enclosed system. Enclosed system means that they are not in the nature, they are not in the wild habitats, which means the limited of the space for them to maneuver the roots is only enclosed inside the pot, which means the nutrients and also the waterings is solely depending on us to intervene and also to observe whether they need repot or not. So it's really important as a grower to understand that your plant needs some maintenance, especially repottings. So once in a while, if you see the plants grow small foliage, it's time to repot the plants to give them a fresh new potting media. So this one need a fresh new soil. So yep. Once it's done, I put in some soil again. And a little bit mixtures of Pumice Stone. Pumice Stone is good to create aerations. So the chunkier it is, the better the aerations and also the particles, so that the soil has, the root has more oxygen to breathe inside the pot. Okay. After you're done, another layer. So we're almost there. I guess after you guys watch the video, you will know how much maintenance and efforts that we need to put into a garden. I know sometimes when we watch other people's tropical gardens, it looks so nice and lush, but behind the scene, there's actually of efforts and time that we invested in so that we can own a beautiful garden. But if you ask me whether it's worth all the time and efforts or not, I would definitely say yes. To look into all the beautiful plants that I grow. So usually after all the reports, right, I will add in some entomopathogenic fungi pest control. So this kind of fungi pest control is actually effective to control arthropods and also soil dwelling pests. So yeah, usually when I repot my plants, I will add in some of this into my soil media. If you want to know more about this, you can check out on the link below. And I will top up some nutrients, especially controlled release fertilizer. It's leaf booster Vitacote. It's a high nitrogen controlled release fertilizer. I just take the right amount of, and then to sprinkle around into a big pot. Voila. So that's all for today, guys. If you want to know more about the new video they want to see in the future, drop a comment in the comment box below. And if you like the video, please share to your friends and family. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye bye.